Alright guys, and welcome back for a new review. Today we're going to take a look at the Venom from the Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure wave. I've just got this guy in, give you a quick look in package. I like that he's packaged with two heads. And flipping it around to the back, see the other figures in the wave. And the read up on Venom. You can feel free to pause and read that. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open and give you a better look at Venom. Alright, and here he is out of package. Really cool looking Venom figure. I like the bulkier size on him than the standard Legends. Not too bad. In terms of articulation, it's not too bad either. Some issues. So the head itself can go up quite far, and it goes back down pretty far. Left and right is no problem. No butterfly joint on this particular figure. I think this one could have really used the butterfly joints to add a little bit more posability to the figure, but the shoulder does go out to about that far. It's got the upper bicep swivel, which is fine. Double jointed elbows, really good. He has the swivel and hinge in the wrist. Got a ab crunch, and it works really good. So the front, get about 2 clicks, and to the back, pretty far amount, so that's not too bad at all. Waist is on a twist. Legs go out to about that far, which is a little further than your standard Legends figure. Upper thigh rotation, double jointed knees, hinges at the calf, hinge at the foot, down, up to about that far, and he has pretty good ankle pivot. Alright, so taking a look at the accessories, you get 2 heads for the Build-A-Figure of a Absorbing Man. First one's pretty good actually, it's got that faded effect, and I think it turned out really well. And the second one is standard, also came out pretty well here. Got the creepy eye thing going on. Teeth are painted pretty well too. The figure comes with 2 sets of hands, so you've got the splayed out clawed hands, which look really good. And also the fisted hands, standard, and 2 head sculpts. You get the lethal enforcer version, and then the more traditional with the tongue and green ooze coming out of it. Take a closer look at that head. Paint is okay. There's no real chips or anything in it. Didn't stay perfectly within the lines, but pretty good actually. And the lethal enforcer head, which is the head I think I prefer, because I remember when this comic came out, it had that foil cover on it. Really enjoyed that. Also, you see the paint didn't stay within the lines, but pretty acceptable, I guess, for mass market. Teeth came out really good, the paint job on those. So not too bad for Venom. Size comparison. So taking a look at Venom next to Marvel's Nuke, Black Suit Spider-Man, and Deadpool, you see he stacks in really well. He's just about the same height as Nuke on that bigger body. He's a pretty good bit taller than the black symbiote suit Spider-Man, and just a little taller than Deadpool, which is a standard height on the Bucky cap body. Really like the size for it. I think it's pretty reasonable. You know, could have been bigger. Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger, but I think it does fit into the Legends size that they've got laid out. We've seen Venom in bigger incarnations, but this one seems to be a pretty standard, just muscly, not overly massed out Venom. So I think it does fit in pretty well in that regard. Bonus content time. Look at that. That is pretty cool. Venom can hold Black Suit Spider-Man up with one arm and no support. Badass. Just another quick little pose here. Here he is with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Marvel Legend figure. Pretty cool. You know, having the Amazing Spider-Man 2 one pose would have makes him even look that much more bulky and impressive. So pretty cool. Alright, so final thoughts on this figure. Really glad to have it in the collection. I think it's a really good, solid release for Venom. We haven't gotten one in his classic representation, and I'm glad that they gave two heads with it. I do prefer this Lethal Enforcer version. I mean, how can you resist that smile? He just poses for the camera. As far as the paintwork on the figure, I think it's acceptable. Where it falls flat for me is it gets a little fuzzy on the outside edges of the spider legs, where you can see the inside is really sharp and then the outside has that fuzz to it. But not bad, you know, definitely doesn't really detract from the figure too much. I think it looks like a really good classic representation of Venom. I like the body size. Back turned out a little better actually for the paint, funny enough. But overall, a really good looking Venom figure. And you can see the paint was a lot sharper on the black suit version of Spider-Man, especially on the symbol itself. Come on, stand. There we go. Just so you can get an idea, see how sharp it is on symbiote suit Spider-Man, and it's a little hazy. But again, that's nitpicking. I think it's a really good figure, and you could really see how the size does work pretty well for Venom. You know, these two facing off head to head is, of course, not necessarily comic accurate. Actually, I guess when he was in the cloth suit that did happen, but you could definitely see the mass difference. So really cool figure. Glad to have Venom in the collection. If you don't have him, I do recommend picking him up. I don't see them coming out with a classic Venom within the next year or two. So this is it, guys. Pick it up. I think it's a really solid release. Alright, guys. Until next time. Thanks for watching.